They didn't wake up planning to become the bad guy. In their mind, they were the one who got pushed too far. What if the villain in someone's story believes they're the hero? That's the question most people never stop to think about. Because when we hear the word criminal, we imagine clear evil, clear intent, clear guilt. But psychology tells a more disturbing truth. Sometimes people who hurt others genuinely believe they were forced into it, not because reality says so, but because their mind rewrote reality to survive it. Let's go deeper. Many offenders don't start with violence or crime. They start with something much quieter: rejection, humiliation, neglect, or a lifetime of feeling invisible. And slowly, the brain builds a defense mechanism. It says, "I didn't do anything wrong. They did this to me." That's called victim-centered thinking. And once it takes hold, it can completely distort moral judgment. Here's the dangerous part. When someone believes they are the victim, even harmful actions start to feel justified. In their story, they are not stealing, they are getting what they were denied. They are not attacking, they are defending their pride. They are not lying, they are correcting injustice. And the more pain they carry, the more convincing that story becomes. But there's another layer. The human brain hates shame. It will do almost anything to avoid saying, "I was wrong." So instead, it builds an alternative truth, a version where responsibility shifts outward. Parents, society, friends, the system, anyone except themselves. And this is where things become dangerous for everyone involved. Because once someone stops seeing themselves as responsible, they also stop seeing consequences as meaningful. At that point, correction doesn't work. Punishment doesn't teach. Only the narrative matters. But here's what most people miss. This mindset doesn't erase accountability. It explains how people lose their way before accountability ever enters the picture. And understanding that difference is important, because not every harmful act comes from pure evil. Some come from broken perception, a mind trying to protect itself in the worst possible way. Still, that doesn't excuse the damage. It doesn't undo the harm caused to others, but it does open one uncomfortable truth. People don't always become dangerous because they don't know right from wrong. Sometimes they become dangerous because they are convinced they are already the one who was wronged. And that belief, it can feel more real than reality itself. So the real question isn't just why do criminals do what they do, it's deeper than that. It's this: at what point does a person stop seeing the truth and start living inside a story that justifies everything? Because once that line is crossed, they're no longer just acting on impulse, they're acting on a belief they think is justice, and that changes everything.